Hockey Top. It's your boys, Naveen, Frank. What's going on?
What's up, guys?
Andy as well. How you guys doing?
Good week.
Excellent.
Good week. Good week. So we got college football and NFL for you guys. We'll be first talking about Tennessee stuff, recapping kind of week 2 of NCAF and week 1 of NFL. We'll be talking about some of the big games coming up in both the sports. But we wanted to kind of start off with Tennessee and ETSU today. So, Andy, can you kind of give us a picture of what you saw from that game?
Actually, why don't you walk us through that? Because, as we were sort of at the other game, we didn't get to catch the full game, only like the ending quarter.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. So it was 72-17. Not much of a performance from ETSU. Huge performance from our new quarterback, our new hero, Joey Aguilar. So he had, let me pull up the stats right now. He had 23 for 31 for 288 and two passing touchdowns. Star Thomas had 3 rushing touchdowns. So it seems like Tennessee's run game is back after the departure, obviously, last year of Dylan Sampson. No real issues there. Only thing really to bring up from this game is ETSU did score 17 points, which is kind of surprising. Like the defense was dominant most of the game, and really, I would have thought that they would hold them to single digits, but 17 points was given up. But when you score 72 points, does that really even matter? So that's really the main points from the game. Rushing touchdowns, passing touchdowns, everybody was kind of getting involved. One thing I did notice is that we hit a 53-yard field goal. And for a team that doesn't necessarily always have the best kickers or best clutch performers when it comes to kicker, definitely good to see that as well. Like, especially in fourth quarter. I know it doesn't mean necessarily that much, but still pretty strong performance. I think one of Tennessee's highest totals ever. Very, very dominant and very, very good signs coming into these kind of situations. We'll talk. I know we're not spending too much time on this game, but it is ETSU. No offense to ETSU fans out there, but
But like you
Yeah.
said, it was the highest scoring by the team, and Tennessee doesn't do the Ohio State type 70-0 all that often, and especially for an in-state school, on the same like a University of Tennessee education system that they did that. I think because like they sort of there's like the mercy rule, right, and then they're in-state getting paid to play Tennessee on away game and all. So I feel like I liked seeing that aggressiveness. It reminded me of when last year when they did an onside kick when they were up so much. Just don't let off the gas, and maybe it's good practice for Georgia, right? Because like they can't let off the gas against Georgia at any point if they want to have any chance at it.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to last year versus Georgia, we were up 10-0, right? Not to say we had the ability to control our gas pedal versus Georgia last year, but still, like at any point in any point in this game, it wasn't close. But the main thing is Joey Aguilar is very smooth. He's very poised. And so far, he's outperforming what we thought he would be. All great signs. But as we're going to talk about in a few minutes, really, really, the big game is upon us.
Yeah, definitely.
Tennessee
Big
versus Georgia is one of the massive premier games of the week. So we'll get to that in just a minute before we kind of recap week 2. There were some big games. We'll get to those in a little bit, but I wanted to start with USF versus Florida, our friendly, I guess now partners in crime, since they beat Florida in the swamp. It's something we're craving for so many years. Did you guys get to catch any of that game?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
we basically watched the full game because by the time that kicked up, we were back home. So we put on the quad screen and kept a close eyes on that. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit, both of you guys. Maybe Andy start, and then Frank go after him, and kind of just talk about what you thought during that experience.
Very disciplined team, surprisingly, if that's the right word. And I feel like after having a huge week against Boise, this could have been also a letdown spot, right? Like for them. But then they were, very efficient. On third down, 6 of 16, 1 for 1 on fourth down, no turnovers. Whereas the Gators had a pick and a fumble, just a pick. And then also they won the penalty battles in the swamp. And then, swamp, that could be very intimidating, especially for these smaller school players. They went to the swamp. Florida got 100 yards in penalties, 11 flags. These guys only had 9 and 75 yards. Also had the spitting going on. I guess they must watch the NFL game. But overall, it's like a very nice execution. I thought the end of game coaching was just miserable for Florida. I don't understand the not calling the timeout during the last minute drives. And then, let me back up before then. When you get the ball back, instead of running and sort of running off the clock, they chose to draw. And just go, just waste no time off the clock, punt it back to USF. And then when USF starts driving down, doesn't use timeouts until they get within field goal range. And then that's when they call the timeout. It's like you just, gave a free timeout for your opponent when you're up 1. Like, what are you doing? So I thought that was a coaching malpractice, to be honest.
Well, the second, we were in the Uber coming back from the Texas game. As soon as Roman said, Florida, what a huge lock, we had a big argument in the Uber about that game. And I was like, Roman, there is no way USF isn't covering. Like, they're going to cover. Maybe they win. Like, they're a pretty good team. I watched them week 1. And the thing with them is their defense is good. Like, they're not people don't know that about USF, but you're not going to put up 50 points on USF. So, even looking at the next week spread, 17.5, I just don't see a team beating them 50-20 or something. It's just not happening. Those games are going to be in 30-20 if they lose or something, in those kind of ranges. So USF is tough, dude. Great defense, really solid, flying around to the ball, making plays. They're going to be like a dark horse pick to make a run this year. If they can survive next week, which is a big game for them, big game after big game,
Yeah, and a lot of the sports radio shows, I kind of have 2 points on this. One, they're saying even if they lose this game, they're pretty much locking themselves up for a playoff spot if they run the table.
They win, yeah.
If they win, I think it's a foregone conclusion. You can count them in super. But even if they lose one of these games, let's say versus Miami,
right? Because they don't have any other strong opponents, right?
Yeah, they don't even have any other ranked opponent. If they win this game, there's actually an argument you could put them at number 1.
Yeah, honestly, I don't love Carson Beck, honestly. Miami, not in love with them, he can manage the game, he can win the game. 17.5 points, I don't think so. I don't see that. He's not going to dominate them, So I don't know. I like USF a lot. But transitioning a bit too, we were at the Texas game last week. San Jose State. I expected 70-0, and Arch Manning just not impressive to me. He made a lot of mistakes. We were at the game watching, 2 guys wide open. he checks it down. Like he had easy touchdowns most of the game. So like they kept turning the ball over again, like on their own 20-yard line, San Jose State. So like he gets all these fluff stats of 4 touchdowns. It's not like real stats. You know what I mean? Like those are fluff stats. Like they should win by 10 touchdowns. It shouldn't be a moderately close game. Like 38-7 is kind of a joke. Like they need to put up at least 50 or 60 points against that team.
Right.
You
The
know?
three touchdowns that he had were basically the defense gifting him at their own, red
They
zone.
give touchdowns. I mean, he was what 2 for 11 or something on third down against
He
San Jose
was
State.
1
Like,
of 11 on third down. And
like what?
the yard stat padding was the first touchdown, which was a little out route, and then the receiver ended up running 83 yards in. So is it really 83-yard touchdown for Arch, or was that a little bit of a, again, like when you look at this
Bad defense.
end game
you know?
stat, it looks good because it's like, oh, almost 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, but there were so many open opportunities that he's missed. And it's kind of crazy because he's making like a freshman mistake. Like he's just keep checking down. And at the end of the day, Texas has better athletes, so he's able to get those yards. But I like expected way more. And every time somebody was talking to me because I'm wearing a 16 Peyton Manning jersey, similar color orange, but definitely distinct. So people were making comments, and I kept saying like, hey, like, I don't know, like, I came to check out Arch Manning hype. I think he's adapted. Like, I don't know about this. Like, is he really starting quarterback worthy? And no one could talk shit to me. Like, that's how bad it was. Even though they were winning, they all knew. Their Texas fans all knew, like, I was speaking the truth. So
It was
a little
like
bit
heads
disappointing.
down, like heads down in the stadium, like leaving the game. Everybody's like, "Damn, that was hard to watch." Like
Yeah.
that's a loss. That's a loss to a real school. Like that's not a win. Like hitting guys in the knee and shit, one hopping it to them 5 yards away. It's just like, man, rough to watch.
Definitely rough to watch.
Third down conversions, you missed 9 of them. 3rd and short, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. Like you shouldn't miss 9 of them against San Jose State. Like get real. Should be 9 of 10 or 9 of 11 or perfect. Shouldn't be like 10%, 15%. Like Jesus.
Yeah, so
That's not good.
Yeah, the last like kind of big game from last week that I wanted to touch upon real quick was Oklahoma versus Mich. John Mateer versus Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood kind of looked lost out there, guys. Like OU's defense was really good. I want to shout out their quarterback, John Mateer. Seems like a really tough runner of the football. He was running people over very fast, like making key throws, throwing very fast, like Joe Milton darts to people. Some of his throws are kind of off, but I mean, just getting used to new players, new receivers. I guess Michigan's defense is okay because they held them to 24, but not really that great of a performance from that guy, and pretty huge win from OU. We were kind of talking shit about Arch during your when you went to the game. Like, I think OU Texas is finally going to be much more competitive. Would not be surprised if OU won that game at all.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, they got a good defense. Like they can beat Texas. Any team with a good defense can beat Texas. That's just a problem. It's going to be a problem this year.
Yeah. So next kind of topic I want to get to is Georgia versus Tennessee. Frank, let me kind of get your thoughts on what you're thinking about this game. Let me pull up the line. I believe that it's still 3.5 right now. Any thoughts on the game from what you've seen so far?
I think Tennessee should be the favorite of the game. So fading Georgia this week, I mean, you have to take Tennessee this week. I think Georgia's good, but they're not. You're going to see like they're not as good as Tennessee is. I think it's one of those games where they might win by like 17 points. So, I mean, I've watched some Tennessee and Georgia, so I don't see Georgia being some powerhouse. Like I don't see that at all. Tennessee, if they keep rolling, they beat Georgia. They're gonna be making a run this year. If they dominate Georgia, which they definitely can, I if they go out and just throw the ball around the field and start scoring touchdowns early and go up early, like they're going to leave Georgia just in the wind, I think, in this game.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting from a betting perspective that it kind of opened at 7 or 7.5 plus for Tennessee, and then it got absolutely demolished down to 3.5. Like I kind of asked you guys in the chat, like what's going on? Is someone key injured on Georgia? Is a quarterback out or something? Like how is this line going down 4 points in 2 days?
Yeah, this is a Tennessee bet the first half game. Tennessee spread first half, 100%.
Is that Tennessee, the best corner is still confirmed to be out. The one we saw at the Bama game where he picked off the Ryan Williams in the end zone, Jermon Decoy. So he's our best player is still out, and then line somehow moved in our favor. So I don't understand that. But it seems that public still likes Georgia, at least like according to these betting websites like the spreads and scores and odds or action or those things. More money on Tennessee. So we'll see how this shakes out. I do think it's important to just come out, start firing. Don't be afraid. Go and gotta play to win. Can't play like 4th and 2 at their 18 kicking field goal type of shit. We gotta go for it, put up points.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go kind of contrary to you guys and probably decide to bet on Georgia just for the fact that I'm a Baccarat player. They haven't won in
the public here?
No, I mean,
public's going to be Tennessee. I mean, 100%.
They haven't won in 9 years, Andy? Since 2016, they haven't won at all versus Georgia, home or away. Kirby Smart kind of gets up for these games. And we've seen in the past where Georgia doesn't look good versus randoms. And then when it comes to play Tennessee specifically, it's usually a bloodbath. And then if you look at the average times, the average margin of victory in the past 8 years, it's something like 20 points on average that they beat us by. I did say in the beginning of the year, first episode of the year, that this might be the game that they actually do win. This is probably the smallest spread it's ever been, probably because Tennessee has been crushing these shitty opponents while Georgia has not. I think from the Georgia offense side of the ball, they're getting their 2 linemen back. Andy, you just mentioned it. We have our top corner out. I believe another corner is out. But yeah, like I don't want to get too high on Tennessee. Like obviously I'm rooting for Tennessee to win, but if I'm betting with my brain here, I just can't fade the 8 years in a row.
So you brought up a fun fact there. I just looked it up on while we were talking. So current win streak is 8. Longest is 9 at Tennessee. So if you're a Bach player, 9-8, you know who wins. Rarely you're gonna get the 9-9 tie. But yeah, so definitely interesting. It is the last time I saw Georgia win. Like I was, down there in Athens, and that's like eight almost 9 years ago, right? So it is pretty interesting. When I think about also the time that this game's been playing, finally we're playing them in September because we historically always played in October. Lately, November, it's been moved around a little bit. So last time we played Georgia in September was 1968, and it was a 17-17 tie. And before that, it's kind of a interesting split: 3 in a row for Georgia, and then 4 in a row for Tennessee. Again, like very small sample size of September, but I'm gonna quote one of the funniest coaches in college football history, Steve Spurrier. Playing Georgia in September is a gift because there's always gonna be somebody who's suspended for drunk driving or reckless driving. I don't know if anybody's suspended actually, but I think it's a good thing that we get to play them early before they get their they iron out their kinks. Like you said, like we've seen Georgia struggle throughout the season only to come out firing against Tennessee, and I'm hoping we can just catch them while they're still like adjusting their things.
Yeah, they need a big game from Gunnar Stockton for sure. Like that's for sure. We haven't seen him have a good game really ever. So if he can't pull it together, it's going to be tough for them. And we just have to. I just hope that Joey stays poised. That's my number one thing. If our quarterback doesn't freak out too much, I think we have a chance to keep it within one score either way, like either Tennessee by a touchdown or Georgia by a touchdown and have a chance at the end. Really, in these, in the football days of today, those are really, really important. Like, even keeping it under 10 and you have a couple minutes left, you will always have the ability to kind of get that.
Right.
Get
Two,
that.
under 2 possessions, right?
Yeah. Let's kind of move on to the bigger games of the week. Specifically, I want to talk about Florida LSU. Florida obviously coming off that USF fiasco. LSU at number 3, their highest ranking in a long time. So, Andy, why don't you start on that game?
Give me Gators to win.
Gators to win.
I think these are the spots where it looks like it should be a double-digit spread LSU, especially after a weak showing against USF and LSU kind of looking solid versus Clemson and whatnot. And I think this is the spot where they Gators, they always have these like one weird good wins that they can pull out. I think it's this one. No other logic other than that. Also because I do know Brian Kelly is allergic to going undefeated in the season.
Yeah, I'll say that when I saw this line, I immediately knew I was going to bet Florida. Plus 7.5. You'd think it'd be at least double digits to 2 touchdowns based on what we've seen from Florida. And it's coming in at 7.5. That just seems like a rat trap city kind of line. Frank, Any thoughts there?
Yeah, it's a bounce back week for Florida. I think so too. If they don't come back and come very close to winning the game or lose by 3 or win by 3, their season's cooked. Florida's season's over if they lose by 15, 20, they lose by 20. Good game, Florida, nice season. Good luck the rest of the way. You're just going to play in a random bowl game,
And I think the coach Billy Napier is fighting for his job.
They got to show up this week. They have to. So
right.
You never know if they do, but I mean, they have to show up this week. They have to. So we'll see.
Right. Frank, I'm coming straight back to you for USF Miami. You kind of touched upon it a little bit earlier, but why don't you give your official read on that? Miami is minus 18.5, I think. Let's double check that. But
I got 17.5 on here, but I like USF no matter what. Honestly, if it was 7.5, I'd still take USF in this one. Their defense is just impressive. They played an awesome game last week, and they're going to do the same thing. I mean, Carson's back. He's solid. He's a great quarterback. He's been around the block. He probably wins the game, but I don't think he wins by 3 touchdowns. I don't think they win by 21. That's what the spread is basically saying. Hey, Miami's 3 touchdowns better than USF, and I don't think so. Not really. There may be a touchdown, 2 touchdowns better at the most, but not 3 touchdowns. There's just no way.
Okay, Andy, your thoughts there? Okay, looks like Andy's out for the moment, but yeah. I'll kind of touch on the last game that I highlighted, A&M versus Notre Dame. I put this on the board because Frank, Roman, and I are going to that game on the 27th. So I wanted to make sure that I follow this A&M shit. I like their quarterback, Marcel Reed, a lot. So I think that Notre Dame hasn't really shown me anything special, and they don't really have an identity on offense. Like that's
Yeah.
one thing that is surprising to me. They have not given the ball nearly enough to Jeremiah Love, like their supposed Heisman candidate running back this year. So it's a little confusing for me to kind of experience that with Notre Dame. Like,
Yeah.
it's always a defense and running team. That's kind of been their bread and butter.
I just don't like their quarterback, dude. The quarterback on Notre Dame, not a fan. I think he's just okay. He's like Arch. He's just all right. You know?
Sorry, my dog started barking, so I went on mute for a little bit. But
we're talking about
Mama's home.
Yeah, we're talking about A&M and Notre Dame.
Yeah, I heard you guys. Jeremiah Love, that's the guy that was like refusing to go down and then got the touchdown with just pure will, right? In the playoffs. Like, yeah, like I'm surprised that they aren't utilizing him more. But I do think Notre Dame is, that game is gonna be, really, really fun to watch. Almost like too even in my opinion. I don't really know like which team to pick because like A&M is also one of those teams that always just comes up short against these like worthy opponents for whatever reason. Kind of like reminds me of like the late 2010s Tennessee, just play these teams solid until fourth quarter and then just screw up for whatever reason. So for that reason, I guess I'll just say like it's too close to call for me. I'll just take what's the line and just take the plus or just live it, as the game goes. Like whichever team falls behind first, just take the plus. I think it's going to be a very close game.
Yeah, line is Notre Dame minus 6.5. I think I'm going to be on A&M plus 6.5. That just makes sense. Yeah. So switching gears a little bit, I wanted to just start off with NFL recapping week 1. We saw a lot of good games. We start off with Chargers and Chiefs. Chargers won and covered outright. That's something I told you last week was going to happen on Friday. That was on Friday. And one second while I pull it up. Cowboys covered versus Eagles, kind of a closer game than a lot of us thought. So very interesting kind of primetime efforts from a lot of these teams. Bucks Falcons, very close game. Steelers Jets, very close game. Aaron Rodgers looked like Aaron Rodgers 10, 15 years ago, 4 touchdowns, kind of crazy performance. Dolphins are awful. Panthers, Jaguars. Panthers are still awful. Let's talk about your Giants, man, Frank. Thoughts from that game?
Yeah, they're not winning a game all year. I think, if they win 2 games, that's a miracle. Like, Commanders, as they're showing tonight, like against the Packers, they're not that great. They beat the Giants 21-6. Like, if the Giants scored double digits in a game, I think that's a miracle for them, Like, take the under Giants team total every game until they prove you differently. Because their offense sucks. I mean, their offense is bad. I mean, not good. just horrible. I see them winning maybe 2 games, That's about it. Yeah. Bad season for the Giants. I don't see it. I see nothing there. Just nothing.
Yeah, obviously I'm from the New York area. For people that don't know, people were very optimistic based on the Jets' performance last week. Even in the loss, and even considering how they lost on a 60-yarder, but people are ready to get some Jackson Dart going in New York City. That's what everybody wants. Russell Wilson looks fucking lost, man. So
he shouldn't be playing football anymore. Like, put him as a 3rd-string quarterback somewhere. He shouldn't be starting anymore. He's done. He's cooked. He's like Brett Favre at this point. Like, just throw him as a backup somewhere for the next few years. Let him retire as a backup or 3rd-string guy, and that's about it. But he's never, he's been fading for years, and he's just still out there somehow. Like, guy shouldn't be out there anymore. It's like how Eli was doing it. Like Eli was sick, doing great. And then offensive line started sucking. And then next season they sucked. And the season after that they sucked. And it's just like, get rid of these people, you know? Like, you got to fix some of these issues at some point. But the Giants just haven't. Giants haven't fixed their issues. So they're not going to score, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a problem.
Yeah. I'll skip over a couple of the other 1 p.m.s. Titans were kind of close versus Broncos, even though the score doesn't say so. Kind of came down to the last couple minutes. They were very close with the Broncos. So I will commend the Titans on that. They covered the 8.5. If you had the 8, I feel sorry for you. But the 8.5 was definitely safe. And then you had, obviously, the Packers beat up on the Lions. Packers are actually playing right now versus the Commanders, and it's not pretty either. Packers seem like one of the better teams in the NFL. So
good defense, really good, really solid defense for the Packers. I mean, they're going to be tough to beat. Yeah. Definitely a tough team to beat.
For sure, man. Like, addition of Micah Parsons is sick, and like, they can beat you so many ways. So I think that's one of the new up-and-coming emerging teams. Unfortunately, they're in the same division as me, so that sucks as a Vikings fan.
Packers, they're good, dude. They're in the playoffs 100% of the time this year. No doubt about it.
For sure. So let's get into actually Ravens. Andy, why don't you talk about that game while I kind of pull up some of the stuff that I have for that?
Oh, what an exciting game. And I'm sure a lot of people ate Sunday Night Football, the overs, the prop bets, the fantasy performances, just all around game. Very exciting. As you know, we'll see some of the things that the Lucky Tom team was on as a group once Naveen's able to put that up on our screen. So Naveen, if you're ready, please fire away.
All right, let me make sure that this is kind of visible to everybody. All right, so a lot of damage done to the book with this game. We'll start off with kind of setting the scene. We're trying to pick a parlay that would work out for this game. And it was, didn't screenshot that well, but it was basically Zay Flowers touchdown, Derrick Henry touchdown, James Cook, and Josh Allen, all to score a touchdown, anytime touchdown. Original odds was 1,500, and I was able to put a parlay boost in there. So my 200 became 4,700. And once I sent that out to the group chat, Andy was like, yo, let me get the same thing as you. So he was able to also lock that in. I did some very small bets that kind of came through as well. I bet. So I bet Derrick Henry 2 touchdowns live in the first half. Roman had a lot of different bets as well on that game. I had a teaser that came up, Bills plus 7.5, over under 45.5. The over under was just a joke. I think it was like 51.5, and it hit so easily. There were 28 points in the second half. Obviously, we know Ravens were up 40-25 with 4 minutes left. 99.1% chance of winning the game. They found a way to lose it. So this came in.
Where was the defense is the thing in that game. Like, the defenses in that game were a joke. Just a joke. I mean, Derrick Henry just ran the ball right down their throat. And Josh Allen able to score at the end of the game, just like without even it's like they're not even there, just about. So I think the defenses in that, like those two teams, I mean, sure, there's good quarterbacks and offenses playing against them, but pretty surprised just how bad both defenses were, honestly. I was expecting a little bit more.
And you want to explain this one?
Yeah, so it's interesting because this is the original pick that Naveen wanted us to go. So we as a group going into Sunday, we're like, well, why don't we just try like these props? And I had originally shared James Cook, Derrick Henry, and James Conner, which was an earlier game. So being unable to do that, Naveen chose the Lamar and Josh Allen, which looking back, it eventually came through, but I was doing some research and I saw like there was the front page pre-made picks on both DK and FD. Like 50,000 plus people were choosing this on FD, and I thought, oh, that looks kind of crazy. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter. We just swapped out Lamar Jackson for Jay Flowers. But it's very crazy that rarely we see something like that.
Yeah, Roman had interesting one. He had Josh Allen 1 touchdown, Lamar 1, and Derrick Henry two touchdowns. So he bet 200 to win 4,000. So that came in with that crazy kind of like end of game touchdown that Derrick Henry had, and that run itself got me my Derrick Henry 160 plus yard performance too.
Wow, 160.
Yeah, he had 169. I was debating. Funny thing was, I was debating should I do. I think because I bet it live and he had like 125 by half, 160 was minus 400. So I was debating should I put 160 in the parlay or 170, and he had 169. So I was like, oh, thank God.
Oh my God.
Sharp. Oh my God. And yeah, like on that fumble, like he actually got 170, but like on that fumble, he kind of lost it because he lost yards.
Lost 3 yards. Yeah, I see that.
So that was pretty crazy of a game. I wanted to bring up one of the better takes that I kind of had in my feed from the weekend, and I think Andy, you'll appreciate this. Is John Harbaugh just Doc Rivers? So John Harbaugh, Doc Rivers won Super Bowl or NBA Finals each. They have Doc Rivers has the most blown 3-1 leads. And then since 1993, John Harbaugh has 17 games where he's been double digit going into the fourth quarter and lost. So to me, that's kind of like a 3-1 lead in itself. So I just thought that kind of cross sport kind of analogy was pretty appropriate in terms of a coach. Like these guys, they do it they get there based on the players they have. Obviously, like Doc Rivers on the Celtics, John Harbaugh with Lamar, the second iteration, and also with like Joe Flacco in an elite defense before. I thought it was pretty interesting. Andy, you think that's an appropriate kind of comparison or no?
That is very interesting now that I hear the stats. But football is a lot harder to consistently win compared to basketball, especially because you can have concentrated talents in the NBA, like the Boston Big Three, the Clippers with Kawhi, PG, the Bucks with Giannis, Dame, and so on. So I do think that's kind of unfair to Harbaugh because I do feel like at the end of the day, Harbaugh like is consistently like coaching how many years now? Like he's been there since like 2008 2009 and consistently proving himself, whereas Doc Rivers just getting bounced from teams to teams, getting fired. Also way easier to get the big three or whatever and load your team up versus like the football. There's like injuries could take out your best lineman or best defensive tackle. Injury to the quarterback, your season is toast. So I want to say like Harbaugh is the better coach than Doc Rivers, but the numbers is kind of interesting though.
Roman, welcome, man. We're just talking about Sunday night
guys?
football. We showed some of the parlay tickets that we hit. It's a good job for the team on that one. Just what were your thoughts on Sunday night football, Bills, Ravens?
Yeah, finally America is getting some good primetime games. If this is the start of the season, hopefully this is how it goes the rest of the way. I mean, these games were such disappointments in the previous seasons, but I guess NFL finally figured it out to put the two best teams out there right away. Every game really, really good. Great comebacks. Josh Allen, obviously the best quarterback probably that we have right now in the league. So, but again, Bills are probably going to disappoint again this year eventually in the playoffs. But I think I agree with a lot of the ESPN, whatever, like big analysts that I think it might be Baltimore's year. I mean, despite this game one loss, which honestly wasn't really a loss. It was only a loss over the last 5 minutes of the game. The previous part of the
game. I would argue that the last 5 minutes are the most important part of the game, though.
Probably. But still, they looked extremely solid, and I think they could have easily actually won that one. And anything anybody would have been talking about is how just incredible the Baltimore offense is this year, and I think it's going to be like that the rest of the way. So huge props to Baltimore. Looking forward to placing more Baltimore tickets, in the coming weeks, especially after coming off this loss that should have been a win. That's it for me.
Yeah, man, that game was a movie, man. Like I couldn't sleep for 2-3 hours after that game. Partly because of the parlay, just being excited about winning heaps, but just incredible game. Couldn't believe that it happened, and a lot of luck in there too, I will say. Like the tipped ball that ended up being a touchdown. Derrick Henry was amazing all game, and then fumbles. Things you don't really see every week really helped the Bills. So yeah, Bills fucking magic on that one. Yeah, so that's something that you don't really expect to see that often, but it did happen, and it was awesome win for the podcast, man. Everybody kind of ate on that game. All right. Last kind of NFL topic we have is JJ McCarthy, Monday Night Football. Absolute ass first 3 quarters. Then he kind of turned into a different human being in clutch time. Roman and I were looking at his stats. He hasn't lost a game since December 2022 TCU game in the semifinal, and his last regular season loss was in high school 2019. So this guy does not lose in the regular season. This guy barely loses at all, man. So
he's got that dog in him, that winner mentality.
Yeah, so Roman, go off, dude. What did you see during the game? I'll admit, hand up, after the pick 6, I'm a Vikings fan. I was so tilted, I just went to sleep. What fill us in on what happened, man?
There is a official clip from the NFL, which is just the 4th quarter of that game with the Manning podcast. It's really, really good. If you missed it, maybe, for example, you can watch it. It's an hour long. And you just see dart after dart after dart after dart. I mean, the thing about JJ McCarthy, honestly, it's not just that, it's also the type of throws that he's making. And I think that's what is not in the stats, obviously, but the way he's able to, he throws in very tight coverages. I think his, once he started making the comeback, I think his first touchdown hit Jefferson on like he was just running like across the goal line, super fast, like covered up in there. And you could, if they have the view from the quarterback's position, I mean, he's throwing maybe like 7 yards in front of where he expects him to be, and he hits him like on the chest. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not. It's not like some kind of a moon ball that he knows I'm just gonna place it right there. I mean, he's throwing like a dart into like wide open space, and just feeling that his receiver is gonna come in and just scoop that ball up for a TD. I think
Do you think that was just the jitters? Like he just kind of needed to see something going, and then once after the JJ to JJ touchdown, it kind of like reminded him that, oh, I am him. I am JJ McCarthy. I'm a Natty winning quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, even the beginning, I think it's teams need to settle in. I mean, the pick six, if you look into it, I think that type of throw. I think in college, probably you get away with it. I think the NFL defenses are gonna have a much easier time with like clear mistakes. But I think I don't think I think he believes in himself a lot, which I think is very important for a quarterback, and it's very important to be on a team that is allowing the quarterback to make plays. And I think that's what we kind of have seen throughout history of any team where you have a great quarterback or a great playmaker. They put the ball in the hands of the quarterback and really let him create the opportunities. And I think that's what's really, really important. And I think that's probably what ultimately led to the comeback because, and you can see a lot of interviews after the game, like a lot of the sentiment from some of the veteran players was like, look, if I see my rookie QB send a pick six like that, right? Like when he's, undershoots right on that route, which is like pretty much a guaranteed kind of pick in the NFL, right? They would just be like, look, no more shots downfield, right? That's sort of that's what how you would treat a guy in that situation typically. But the team, everybody rallied behind him. The guys even after that pick six told him, hey, like get after it, keep throwing, keep making plays. And this guy's special. I mean, he's got a lot of talent. So um, I think the belief in him, it was a team win. I think honestly, like it really was a team win, and it takes the rest of the guys around them to give him the confidence to shoot that ball and make those throws and make that run. You guys look at you can see the close up of the run. The run route was really nice. He avoided 2 defenders at the goal line, managed to squeeze in there. Very smart. This he's got that dog in him for sure. And I think the thing is like what we have to remember also, and I learned this with Lamar Jackson, is your first year in the NFL, like there's not a lot of tape on you, and the defenses don't really know what to expect, really. So, because it is very different. So in the first year, I think a good quarterback, you can think about go back to like Brock Purdy even, right? Like you can go back to some pretty average quarterbacks, and in their first year, they are able to do pretty impressive things. Second year is going to be the real test when there's tape, when there's film, and the defenses know what to expect, what kind of throws the guy makes. But right now, I think if he has the confidence in him, if nobody gets injured, I think the Vikings have a real shot at the chip this year.
As a Vikings fan, I'm hoping you're right, man. I'm hoping you're right. All right. Kind of our last segment of the day, I'll go with best bets. I have a ton of them because I hit the parlay and now I got to press, guys. So I got 10 NCAA picks, 10 NFL picks. So I'll try to go quickly with a little bit of explanation on each one. I'll start with NFL since we just talked about it. NFL week 2. There's a system that I'm going to bet. So the system is if 2 0-1 teams are playing each other, the underdog covers the spread roughly 75% of the time. So I'm going to bet all those games, and they're disgusting teams, as you might consider. So Bears plus 6.5, Giants plus 5.5, Browns plus 11.5, Pats plus 1.5, Bears are playing Lions. I think Vikings are better than Lions. I'll be honest with you guys. Was not convinced by Lions doing anything versus fucking Packers. So Bears plus 6.5. Giants plus 5.5 versus Cowboys. That's the one I'm kind of grossed out by. Giants probably worst performance other than Miami of the week. Browns plus 11.5 versus Ravens. That's like the most interesting one because Ravens, like, they were beating Buffalo by 15. Like, you'd think that they would just close out that game, but Browns defense was pretty fucking good versus Bengals. They also had a chance to win the game couple times, could have easily beat the Bengals. So I like that I'm getting 11.5 points there. Pats plus 1.5. Who are the Pats playing? Pats are playing the Dolphins. Dolphins should never be favored in a game. Dolphins are fucking awful.
Wait, but hold on a second. I'm gonna start disagreeing with you. I mean, look, it's week one, honestly, and I think, and I mean, we're just seeing that right now. I mean, with the Commanders, as we are recording this right now, right? Commanders were down, 17, and everybody thought they looked good week one. They don't look so good week two. I think, look, Miami has playmakers, right? And I think the real reason that Miami is going to like go down the toilet, which is real, is for two reasons. One is if they decide to start tanking immediately because they realize that Tua is done. And two, if they have a lot of locker room drama, which is very possible.
They do. Tyreek Hill quit on the team, dude.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, right? So like it really is just the two. But that's what you gotta understand going into like the rest of the Miami Dolphins season is those are two and only two things that are going to really matter because the team is very, very good. Like at the end of the day, they have absolute ballers on the team on every position on offense. Including Tua. I mean, maybe Tua is done. We don't know, but I wouldn't completely discount him. But I'll let you go through the rest of them before I take all the other sides.
Rams minus 5.5. They look good. Square lock there. Bills Jets over 46.5. I think Bills can put up points at will. Jets with Justin Field looked good last week. 46.5. Why not? Jacksonville plus 3.5. They also look good, but they're playing shit team. So who kind of cares there? Eagles minus 1.5 versus Chiefs. That's I guess the premier game of the week. I don't know. I just don't see it with Chiefs anymore, man. Does not look good. So going with that, Chargers minus 1.5 and Bucks plus 2.5. In NCAA. Oregon minus 27.5 at Northwestern. Northwestern is shit. Small stadium. Oregon crushes shit teams, especially with Dan Lanning. Bama minus 21.5. They're playing Wisconsin. Whenever they play Wisconsin or Michigan State, it's always bloodbath. Like maybe if they're playing Michigan or if they're playing like Ohio State, other better teams in Big Ten, it would be close and they would not cover a big spread like that. But first, Wisconsin and fucking Michigan State, like auto bet that. Georgia minus 3.5, Miami minus 17.5, just because we saw USF cover these huge numbers and then they're getting another huge number. I think that's a trap. So give me Miami minus 7.5. Arkansas plus 7.5 versus Ole Miss. Ole Miss did not look good versus Kentucky. Texas A&M plus 6.5. Notre Dame doesn't impress me. Florida at LSU, or is it LSU at Florida or Florida at LSU? I can't remember. Either way, it's
at
plus
LSU, I think.
At LSU.
Yeah, who cares about home field advantage in the SEC?
Even more, right? LSU hosting Florida. Florida just lost to fucking USF. Give me Florida plus 7.5 because that line is super sus. Baylor team total over. It's not out yet. They're playing a shit team, but I think Sawyer Robinson, the Baylor QB, is currently my favorite, like low key NCAF quarterback. Just look at him fucking play versus SMU. It's crazy. Ohio State minus 30.5 and Cal plus 2.5. Another team where I just love the quarterback. If you don't get to watch Cal this year, tune in because they have a sick quarterback. So that was 20 picks. Frank, I'll go to you. What are your picks? Either sport.
I got 5 NCAA football picks.
Okay.
So Oklahoma's just been impressive to me so far. So I think they win by like 35. Spreads 22.5.
Versus Temple, right?
Yeah, that's going to be fucking 42-7 or something. So Oklahoma going the opposite way with Wisconsin because Wisconsin covered 28.5 last week. Like, I don't think they're losing by more than 3 touchdowns. So I'm taking Wisconsin plus 21.5, whatever it ends up being.
Okay.
I think Tennessee is going to upset Georgia. So I'm going Tennessee money line there. No points. Just take them to win. I think they're going to win. Iowa State's been impressive the past couple of years. This year to start again. Minus 21. I think that's another 35-point win, 42-point win. And then South Florida's defense is pretty good. You know, people don't know it yet, but 17.5, I don't really see a trap there. I think that's super generous. Like, I think it's a 7 or a 14-point or maybe 10-point game. I don't think they're losing by 3 touchdowns. I mean, they just beat Florida. I don't see them losing by 3 touchdowns the next week. Maybe
right.
square, but, you know, I mean, it's definitely a square pick, but, you know, we watched a bunch of that game and they're pretty good. They're a tough team. Like, they held up throughout all 4 quarters. You expect them to fade against Florida in the 4th quarter and lose, and they just didn't fade. Like, they got stronger as the game went on. So USF plus 17.5 is the last one.
All right, Andy.
I'm basically gonna take all the underdogs in a inter-conference SEC matchup. So Tennessee plus 4 against Georgia, Arkansas plus 6.5 versus Ole Miss, and Florida plus 7 versus LSU, and Vandy plus 3 versus South Carolina. So those are the 4 conference matchups, and I just think it's all dogs. Very like sus trappy lines. And then NFL, I agree with like one of the Vince picks, which was Browns versus Ravens. I'm gonna take the Browns. Jags versus Bengals. I'm gonna take the Jags. I think Bengals are gonna shed house their way and win a lot of games. But I think it's gonna be always like a 3.5 spread where they never cover. So Jets, and then Jets plus 6.5. Bills, Jets, for whatever reason, Jets, they always play them tough, in a close game. So I think the 6.5 is a lot, especially after the emotional win, classic letdown spot, barely win or, win by field goal type of pick here. So plus 6.5.
Roman, close us out.
All right. So I think, well, find you guys' picks interesting for just week 2, week 3. I'll start with college, I guess, and I'm going down the rotations, and some of them are gonna be picks, some of them may not be, but these are the things that I like. Oklahoma, Frank said it best. Northwestern looks kind of tough. I don't know about Oregon, but let's see. Michigan. I think Michigan. Yes, I am the Michigan man, but I do think
Who are they
Michigan.
playing?
They're playing Central Michigan at home and favored by 29. Central Michigan is obviously ass, but the thing is, I think Michigan played pretty well against Oklahoma last week, so I think they might want to. I think they're catching a stride. As much as it looked like a loss there. Looked like a loss, man. It was a loss, but I think it was a much closer, much more competitive game, and I think they're gonna be out there trying to make a statement at home. The team is starting to gel. Take Georgia Tech money line. Clemson is complete dog shit this year. That's an easy money line pick. Wisconsin, Bama. I don't know what to think about Wisconsin. I don't think about Bama. That spread is huge. Maybe take the plus. moving on to some other stuff. Okay, UConn. Dude, UConn is good this year, guys. UConn is really good this year. So I think they're commonly a team that everybody used to fade automatically. But like, I think this year they just might like go 90% ATS. So they're minus 9.5 at Delaware. They're playing total garbage team. I mean, they are now good enough to, that's just disrespectful. Like they should be favored by 20 points in this game. I think this is going to be 35-5, I don't know, 35-6, whatever kind of game. Like it's going to be a destruction. Great pick on Tennessee money line. That's an absolute blast. I think that's a team pick at this point. And skipping the rest. And I think yeah, I think that's all I have on the oh, I mean, we don't know about Texas. 41 points. Probably take the plus. Frank had, Miami. I don't know. You guys have a better idea there. And OSU. I mean, sure. Minus 35.5. Interesting. Let's blast that. Florida LSU. Interesting game. I think. Don't know what I think there. Texas A&M money line at Notre Dame. Notre Dame looks like shit, so take that money line. Giving you guys some nice little money line dogs. Real nice, real easy. Think that's it for my college leans. Boston College at Stanford, probably a great chase game late at night. For NFL, I don't know. I really did not like Nevin's picks as much, so maybe I'll just fade all of them. I think Miami, for example, I think like you probably got to take that. Like that team is probably much better than the Patriots if they can play well. Like you just got to probably take that. But I think what's really interesting is Giants Cowboys. I think Cowboys might destroy the Giants, but I think Giants are going to bench Russell Wilson either next game or the game after that. And we don't know what's going to come on the other side. So I think we got to watch out for some live Giants money line, some live Giants spreads, or just some, taking some Giants later in the season once they get rid of the fucking grandpa over there. The lock that looks to me like the biggest lock, obviously Vikings, since they have JJ McCarthy who never fucking loses. And look at the Cards. Cards played really, really fucking well last week. Panthers are fucking atrocious. I mean, they probably are. Like, of all the teams on there, they probably are the worst team in the NFL right now. So but it's a 3:00 game or whatever, 4:00 game. So those games are always sketchy. So beware. But that would be my biggest lock of the week for the NFL.
All right. Thank you guys all for listening. Obviously, huge game versus Georgia coming up. So you got to be ready to fucking deal with that shit either way. Right now, it seems like Tennessee has a pretty good chance, but who knows, right? At the end of the day. A lot of other pretty interesting NCAA going on, a lot of NFL going on this week as well. Stick with us. We will have a reaction, at least with me and Josh, after the Georgia game, live reaction show. So we'll talk about what happens during the game. Good luck on your bets, and obviously, let's go Vols.